Once upon a time, in a small village surrounded by high mountain, lived a young man named Marco. He was only 24 years old, yet his heart carried the weight of endless worries. His mind was never stilled, was filled with regrets of the past and anxieties about the future. Every thought came and went, like storm clouds in the sky. Because of this restless mind, Marco could not sleep peacefully. He forgot how to smile, and even the simplest joys of life slipped away from him. People in the village often saw him wandering, lost in thought, eyes heavy with sadness. One day, Marco heard stories about a wise old man who lived in a distant hilltop village. This man was once a famous psychologist in the city. After years of guiding and healing others, he left behind the noisy city life and chose to live close to nature. People said he still welcomed visitors and shared his wisdom. A spark of hope lit up in Marco's heart. He thought, maybe this man can teach me how to find peace. With courage, Marco began his long, exhausting journey to the hills. After days of travel, Marco finally reached the quiet village. He found a small house covered with greenery. On the porch, the old man sat calmly, eyes closed, a peaceful smile resting on his lips. Marco stepped closer and bowed respectfully. "Grandfather, my mind is restless. I cannot stop thinking. I am always worried and tired. Please, can you help me find peace?" The old man opened his eyes gently, smiling with kindness. "So, you seek peace. Very well. Very well. Follow me, and I shall give you a small task." The old man led Marco into his house, and after a while came back with a tall glass of water. He filled it to the very top, almost spilling it. "Take this glass," he said to Marco. "Walk from here to the edge of the village and back, but remember, do not spill even a single drop." Marco took the glass carefully and began walking. Through the village, the path was narrow and crowded. Children played by the roadside, shopkeepers called to customers, and dogs barked loudly. But Marco's eyes never wandered. His mind was fixed only on the glass of water in his hands. Step by step, he walked with full attention. People turned their heads and watched. They knew he was learning something important. After what felt like a long journey, Marco returned to the old man with the glass still full. "Grandfather, I did it! I didn't spill a single drop," he said excitedly. The old man nodded and smiled softly. "That is good. That is good. But tell me," he asked calmly, "on your way, did you see the children playing? Did you hear the dogs barking?" Marco looked surprised. Then he shook his head. "No, I didn't see or hear anything. My mind was only on the glass." The old man smiled knowingly. "And that, my child, is the secret. When your mind stays in the present moment, there is no room for fear, no room for regrets, no space for endless confusion. Just like you focused on the glass, you can focus on the moment. You carry worries and stress because you think about the past or future. But the only time that truly exists is now. When you live fully here, all else disappears. Problems also disappear. Why? Because they come from the mind, thinking about what could go wrong or what might happen in the future. peace was never lost. It was always within you, waiting for you to return. Marco felt a deep sense of understanding. He realized that his restlessness was a choice, a habit he had formed of thinking too much. He thanked the old man for teaching him this valuable lesson. As the sun began its slow descent, casting long shadows across the land, Marco stood up to leave. The old man walked with him to the edge of the village. "Remember, Marco," he said, his voice soft but clear, "the secret is to stay here. Don't let your thoughts wander aimlessly. Focus on what is right in front of you. I will never forget your words, wise old man," Marco replied, his heart filled with gratitude. With a final nod and a grateful smile, Marco turned and walked back towards the road that would lead him home. The old man watched him go, a serene smile gracing his lips. As the first stars began to appear in the darkening sky, Marco continued his journey, his steps lighter and his heart more at ease. The teachings of the old man echoed in his mind, guiding him like a beacon in the gathering darkness. With each step he took, Marco felt a growing sense of calm wash over him. The worries and anxieties that had clouded his mind began to dissipate like mist under the rising sun. The road ahead seemed less daunting, and the weight that had been pressing down on his shoulders suddenly felt lighter. As the night deepened and the sounds of the forest came alive around him, Marco found a comfortable spot beneath the canopy of a large tree to rest for the night. The soft rustling of leaves and the chirping of nocturnal creatures became a soothing lullaby, and for the first time in a long while, Marco slept soundly. His dreams filled with images of the tranquil village and the wise old man. When the first rays of sunlight peeked over the horizon, Marco awoke, feeling refreshed and rejuvenated. The night's rest had worked its magic, and he knew that a part of his restlessness had been soothed. Gathering his belongings, he continued his journey, now energized and eager to apply the lessons he had learned. Upon his return to the village, Marco was greeted by the curious glances of his neighbors and friends. They had seen him depart troubled and now wondered if the enigmatic old man had managed to help him. Little did they know the transformation that had taken place within him. With a newfound lightness in his step, Marco began to engage with the people around him. He listened attentively to their stories, offered a helping hand to those in need, and even managed a smile when a joke was cracked. The villagers, sensing his changed demeanor, couldn't help but feel a sense of joy and relief. Days turned into weeks, and Marco's transformation became evident to all. His eyes, once clouded with worry, now sparkled with a peaceful serenity. His laughter rang out more freely, and his presence brought a sense of tranquility to those who knew him. News of the old man's wisdom spread, and soon others from neighboring villages sought him out, hoping to find solace and guidance. The old man, with his quiet wisdom and gentle demeanor, welcomed them all, sharing the same timeless lessons that had transformed Marco's life. As for Marco, he continued to live in the present moment, embracing the beauty of each day and cherishing the connections he made with those around him. He became known as a man who, despite life's challenges, had found an inner peace that radiated from his very being. And so the tale of the old man and Marco serves as a reminder that peace is not something to be found in distant lands or in the distant future. It is within us, waiting to be uncovered. All we need to do is turn our attention to the present moment, to the here and now, and allow life to unfold with its myriad of gifts and opportunities. In the stillness of the present, we discover not only peace, but also a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. When we learn to anchor ourselves in the present, we open the door to a life filled with possibilities where worries and regrets no longer have a hold on our hearts. Just as the wise old man had shown Marco, the path to inner peace lies within our grasp. It is a path that invites us to pause, to observe, and to fully immerse ourselves in the richness of each passing moment. So let us take a deep breath, release our worries, and turn our attention to the wonders that surround us in this very instant. For in doing so, we begin to tap into the boundless reservoir of peace that resides within our own being. Thank you for watching. May the story of the old man and Marco serve as a guiding light on your journey towards inner peace and tranquility. Remember, the secret lies in staying present and embracing the beauty of each moment. Until next time.